Hey everybody, here at Brad Fab Garage, we just want to let you know we are not a smoking pony show. Oh crap, maybe I should rethink that. Did you get that one? Hello everybody, welcome back to Brad Fab Garage again. We got Dad's 55 kind of settled up last weekend, so we're going to start back on the rat rod truck today. I did find some things out that I need to change. I thought I kind of had this cab halfway squared away, but I did find out that these door hinges needed to be inset about 1/4 of an inch to get the gaps right on this truck. Of course, I can't find anything else about these things, so I'm kind of just looking at pictures and stuff like that. But I need to go through, like I said, this is something they added to it. So I need to go through and cut all these hinges, the metal away, so I can recess these hinges in about 1/4 of an inch. That fills my gap here, which was kind of a dead giveaway, and back here. So I need to move this whole door on both sides up about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, looks like that'll work. Throw a couple quick tack welds in here just to keep that firm. I'm not going to weld it permanent yet until we get both sides done, and I like the way they look. So there's that. Let's tack this thing in. Backside. Okay, we've got this door mocked up pretty well. Had to cut a little more out than I really wanted to, but I think it's going to be beneficial. We'll get this thing tacked in and see what our jams look like after this. That was a mess. All right, well, we got the hinges fit up here a lot better. We've recessed them about 1/4 of an inch, so our gap is a little better, about as good as it's going to get. But the big part, get the doors unclamped here. is, of course, the doors are still floppy, but we're shutting with a decent gap that's very workable. Still got to tweak the cab a little bit on the top to brace it up, but that looks good. And that one is shutting pretty good. So once we get our backbone in the doors where they're not floppy, we'll clamp the doors to the cab and fill the body lines like that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Saturday morning. And we got a little bit done last night. It doesn't feel like we got a lot done, but we actually did. It was really tedious to try and video, so I only got a few little shots here and there. But we're working back on the 34 cab again. And I'm working on the interior structure, trying to get everything squared and solid like we were finishing up last video. Now for the doors, we went through and notched out this piece of 1x3 they put in here to recess the hinges further forward. Originally in the wood, they probably were notched out and it kept the doors up where they needed to be. But bolted to the face of this, the doors just were set too deep. They didn't want to shut good. And now we have body lines pretty well matching up. A little bit more of a gap than I want, but I can fix that. That's no big deal. And we got everything lined up good front to back. So the best you can with wavy old metal doors, you know. So, but we got the same thing on this side. We need to go get some door pins. These were so floppy with the bolt in there that we could never get a true line. So I've got to go get that in the morning, or morning. That is morning, if you can tell. So I'm gonna need to go to town and get the door pins for this, so I can true this door up. So we'll make that trip this morning in town and try and find some pins that would match these original ones. We did our B-pillar bars last video. And then what I did is we connected this front A-pillar to the B-pillar to get it some strength here. So now we're pretty strong. I could square the cab up. We've got some grinding to do because it was a pain in the butt to weld in this last night. And you know how that goes. It's just, don't weld when you're sleepy and tired. And so we've got some cleanup to do in here. But we got both sides tacked in or welded in and started. So now the cab is really strong, so that helped a whole bunch. But I'd like to go through and tie the top of these two in together around up here, and then I still have to finish welding all of this. I may go through, like I said, I have to check that door gap once I get the doors fine, and I might need to go through and pull that cab this way, just man, less than 1/4 of an inch, just to get good looking door jambs. Once again, I'm taking it further than I really have to, and that's my problem. So I want it to look better. There's a big difference between rat rods. There's rat rods that are death traps, and there are rat rods that are really well done. And I can't just do a ratty rat rod. I don't know why. I just can't do that. So I want it to be pretty nice. So even though it's a rat rod, but anyway, so we're gonna run to town, maybe swing by the donut shop, see a bunch of the guys in town, and we'll see what the day brings. Hello. Yep. Yep. Thank you. You too. Get my morning sweet tea on. Now getting kicked out of the bar is one thing, but getting kicked out of the donut shop's another.
Now we'll go down and find this guy. Okay. And the old man said, well,
and you
down
too.
this fence line, and
What'd y'all do? He did it?
Right there. Then there's a 64 Malibu. There's one in the trunk, and he knew where he had all of them.
Not enough room in there.
Lots of love.
No, hell no. You need to find. I'll leave it alone. You need you an old hardtail super glide up in there. There you go.
You got one for sale too, I bet.
You need one strapped down inside there. I guarantee you.
Whoa.
You can stand the gas fumes in there.
I miss riding them back, but you can have a shitty day in 15 minutes after you cruising, just relaxing.
Oh, wait, it just caught my attention. Where's the gas cap?
All right, back from town. We've got our bolts, some cut-off wheels, and a fuel filter. We're good to go. So we kind of got the B pillars connected to the A pillars, trying to help square the truck up some more. And today, what we're going to be working on, let's see if we get here where we can seal. We're basically going to build the frame around the top of the doors and down the side of the doors. We're going to try and basically square the bottom up with 1 inch all the way up the top of the door and all the way to the front. It does have steel in the front of the door where the hinge plate and stuff like that is. So we're going to try and do that. I'm going to get a bunch of this stuff cut out, and then we'll go from there. Got a little bit done on the driver's door here real quick, so I want to show you what we're doing. All right, so you can see the square tubing. We've bent this to follow the contour of the door jambs. Yeah, it's a lot of spot welds, got some stuff to clean up. And the lower part of the door right here. And like I said, we just kind of wedge cut those, and then we're just tacking them in right now. And it has a good steel face on here where the hinges bolt onto. This is the top piece right here. And you can see, like I said, all we're doing is just cutting these with relief cuts. And I can actually slide that in here, and this will fit beautifully right in through there. We'll take a hammer, a body hammer, and we'll go through and tap that stuff down. We're almost to the point that we're getting a pretty rigid door. I probably will still do a bar probably across the center, just to beef it up a little bit more. But this is what we're coming down to. I've got a lot of cleanup to do. I have to go back in and weld all the relief cuts, and the same thing on the top. I did the reliefs on this vertical piece before I put that in there because I wouldn't be able to get to that. So, okay, we've got our 3 pieces cut. This will be our door pillar. This one goes on the top. This one goes on the bottom, and we'll have to tear all this wood out. Because we will put a piece across the bottom of this door, so we can get all the 90 whatever year old wood out of here. We'll probably come back in here and cut all these bolts out of here also, just so they're not, it's not a rattle. It's not like we're going to be able to fix all the rattles on this, but one less is one less. Okay, so first thing first, we got to go through and straighten all these edges up through here, and then you can see how much of a contour there is on that door. So we're going to go through and do relief cuts down this one just like we have on the other things, and we'll make this fit the contour of this door. I'm going to use the contour of the door jamb here to do my relief cuts and make this match. That way the door matches this, and then we will go through and test fit that with the door once we get it going. So that one's already done, so we'll get this one next. Okay, so the game plan again, we're going to match this door brace with the contour of this door jamb. And that in turn, that ought to fit everything really well right here. So this is pretty easy once you get this stuff cut. Go through. Start squeezing it too. You see we've already got just that easy. We have that contour with it. And that's all it takes, just a little bit of pressure. Just close the door. This door actually fits really nice. We'll go through here, lay it in the top, and just kind of give it a start. Looks like I'm gonna need to cut about 1/4 of an inch off of this one. So let me mark that. Find my marker. There it is. Actually put it where it goes in the cubby hole in my seat. So we mark this. I'm gonna cut that off real quick. It actually looks really good. What I'll do is I'm gonna clamp the door shut so that it's tight against the seal. And we're gonna work our way around the door. But first I gotta go through and clean all the rust off the seals so we have something clean to weld to. Everybody knows how much fun it is welding to rusty metal. You can see that piece fits nice enough that it's just sitting on the door. So I have to weld it in. Okay, we've got all the seals cleaned up and somewhat flat, so we'll start fitting this piece. It's already fitting really nice. It pretty much just fell into place. And pretty happy, so that's probably about the best way to show it to you from being inside the car. So I'll have to fit the door to the jamb, and then I'll go through and start tack welding stuff and then have that fitted in. So that actually went really nice. So we'll go through and take this one, and then I'll run one across the top of the door here. The bottom of the door sucks. It's pretty rusty. It's been sitting in the dirt, so I'll have to get creative with that because it's not going to be straight or give me really anything to weld with. So we'll have to see what we do to that. But we're on the way to this thing not being so floppy. The top half of this is pretty much spot on, so I'm going to go ahead and tack weld it from out here. And then I can start working it down from there. There's a little bit tweaked in the bottom from all the rust. There's not enough material there to hold it together. That will shut. That will shut nice. Okay, let's knock the edges down on the outside and throw some spot welds on. We're basically going to do the same thing for right here. This piece will slide back underneath here. We'll trim it off for this. We'll have to make, I think I made 2 relief cuts on the other side. We'll do the same thing on this and get this where it follows this contour. Okay, got those relief cuts. We're gonna make just a small bend here. That's all it takes, just a little bit here. And we've got that contour. Let's see how that's gonna fit. the bottom of the door touches just a little bit earlier, that we can work with that. Lower bar cut, and it's welded in. Now I'm going to cut the piece for up here, but I can't find my marker. So I don't think we need to run off again. That makes number 3 tonight. 25 inches. Alright, get the cosmoline off of it and be ready to weld this up. Alright guys, well, we got the doors off framing on the 34. It is time to call it a night and go out and get some dinner and see the kiddos and get some rest. Get back out here early again in the morning and see what's up next. But we do have some cleanup to do like you do on anything else. But the doors are framed. They've got some nice weight to them. So I think they're going to be all right. Everything shuts pretty good and solid. And that's one more thing off the list. So we've got a lot of welding to do today. We got the door jambs all pretty well finished up. Now we need to go back and weld up all of our relief cuts. We've got probably a couple dozen of those to weld up. And then we might start working on some door latches. Alright guys, got the rest of this kind of cleaned up now. We're going to slide a Turbo 350 in here. It's butted up to the firewall. It's about as far as you're going to get. We're going to see how level this thing is sitting on the ground. And it looks like we are about 1 degree, maybe 2 degrees off. I think I can live with that. So we're going to start doing the floor. So we're going to go ahead and kind of do just a skeleton of this. And that way, you know, if somebody decides they're going to buy this from me or do whatever, if you can fit a Turbo 350 in it, you can fit most everything in it. No one's going to do anything crazy, I wouldn't think, with a 4L80 or anything like that. That's a monster. But we'll build it with plenty of room, get some floor in there, some seat supports, and start tying this all together. Need a 40-inch. One back here, 40 and a half. Got a bunch of crossbars in now. I'll probably go ahead and cut this front off and slide the tranny back in here and just see how much room it gives us. That ought to give us more than enough room and more than enough leg room for a tunnel. You know, if somebody want to drop it down even lower, we can cut these bars out, run supports over that, and just depends on what you want to go with it. So it's a real good universal way to go. If you have caught up on this, you see these last bars, they're both about a ½ inch off from side to side. And I had to do that to get the cab square. With these corners being so floppy, you almost just had to put them where you needed them. So I had to do a little manipulating on these back corners to get the door jambs right. So that's why you don't see a perfectly straight edge all the way across here. You know, there's always going to be someone going, well, that's not right. But it actually is to get the truck right. Just had to do some finessing with it. So I'm going to cut these out, slide the tranny back in, see what it looks like. Alright, that'll work fine. Clean these edges up. A lot of times I won't cap all of these because you need to wear, you know, someplace for the water to go. Because you never fail, you're never going to get all your welds on this, something like this to not leak something. So it's just easier to give them a little bit of place to breathe. So that'll work out great. Like I said, wherever we set the tranny at, we might have to arch these just to leave room for the drive shaft and slip yoke. But other than that, we've got some kind of structure here. I'll probably go ahead and tie 2 more back into here, just to give it to it. There's no reason not to have anything back there. Then once we get our frame, then we'll decide how we're going to mount everything to the frame. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape on the floor pans now, or the floor structure now. We haven't got to the pans yet. But as you can see, we've got all of our, pretty much our bones of the floor in place. We may still do some more here. I mean, maybe some more here. I mean, you can do about whatever. I don't want to get too crazy with it because until we get that chassis, you know, we don't want to change too much because then we might have to change it again, and I don't like doing things twice. So, but we're gaining ground pretty quick on the truck. We do still have to go and dig through some salvage yards or do something and try and get some chassis picked out. So that may be another video in itself, because if you're anything like me, when I get to a salvage yard or a scrap yard, man, I can spend all day just digging through junk, and my wife gets mad at me when I bring a bunch of it home. So, but she's starting to learn, you know. But other than that, I think we're going to wrap it up here. We've got the floors, the doors done, all that kind of good stuff. We do need to look at some latches and see what we can figure out there. You know, still kind of go rat rodish, but I want something that's got a pretty good latch on it. I don't like doors coming open going down the road. So that'll be it for today. See you guys later. Remember, like and subscribe, and share this thing. It's starting to pick up, and we want to keep it going. So thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Bye.